Hi guys, so really excited to celebrate International Women's Day with two of the senior members of our leadership team here, Laura and Flora. And I felt it would be a beautiful, appropriate time to introduce them or let them introduce themselves and to kind of frame a bit of a discussion between the three of us around International Women's Days and the theme for this year, which is Accelerate Action. So Laura, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Laura. I am the Product and Operations Manager for Richard at Million Dollar Sprint. I'm quite new to the company and really excited to kind of be here today to talk about International Women's Day.
Thank you. Flora?
Hi, I'm Flora and I'm heading the team. We have a team of execs, almost 100, and I head the team, ensuring everything goes, very well with our clients. And we're here to just celebrate women.
Fantastic, good stuff. And actually, you were talking about an interesting statistic earlier, Flora, about the percentage of female to male ratio in Million Dollar Sprint. What is it?
We currently have 72% in terms of female and 28% in terms of male.
Fantastic. Okay, good stuff. And that's pure. That hasn't been by design, has it? It's just been how the cards are played and the appropriate candidates.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, good stuff. Thoughts around the theme for this year, gang? What's your thoughts in terms of Accelerate Action?
Yes.
I'll just share a personal story myself. I was inspired by my mom. My mom grew up in this small village here in Nigeria, and at the time, it was really, really difficult for women to come out and, be out there in the community doing things that people would appreciate or, share their accomplishments about. So my mom was really out there. Her perspective, her push, and everything really inspired me. So I'm here today. I can say, looking back from where my family and everything, I have, in terms of my accomplishments, I think I've really tried for myself, and I feel women should be allowed in, the workspace because they have a lot. I mean, they have a lot in them. They just need to be allowed, given that equal right to share and, be part of it.
Thank you. And Laura?
Awesome. Love that, Flora. Yeah, so I think Accelerate Action for me. So I've actually found a statistic from the World Economic Forum, and they predict that it will take 132 years to close the global gender gap, and that's massive. So obviously the theme this year is, how can we accelerate that change? I'm a working mum, and I think one thing that it's really good to talk about on International Women's Day is that it is a lot harder for women in the workplace because there's this kind of preconceived idea that you have to be a mum, you have to do all the women things, looking after the kids, cooking, the cleaning, and then you're going into the workplace as well and trying to juggle everything. And it's not like that in every household. I'm lucky I have a very supportive husband, but it is very difficult, I think, for women. And yeah, that statistic is quite shocking.
Yeah, it is. It is. Considering that's, therefore I'd like to think it could be, but I doubt it will be in certainly my lifetime there. But and as we were talking beforehand, I've got a daughter as well, and so that's still going to be massively affected. Her working life is she's going to be behind in terms of that statistic. Now it is. Obviously, that's the economic global forum. So we have the benefit here of actually having, someone who is working in UK and someone who's working in Nigeria. So I'd be really keen to see what we feel the differences here. And actually, we haven't really delved into this much previously. So excited to kind of hear your thoughts. Let's start with Flora. What is it like in Nigeria in terms of being a woman and how the work is? There a gender pay gap there? Do you recognize that? Is there a different roles? How does that work for you guys?
Currently, I'm not sure there is a gender pay gap because everybody, is being paid. For some organizations, they tend not to allow the female to rise, above a particular level. So they feel like the male will be most suitable for that role. So if a female has been in the organization for a certain number of years, they might not want to give her the position of moving to that role because they feel, why should a female be in this position? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And why do you think that is? Why do you think they have those preconceived?
I feel the cultural background here is still like the women, there are places in the kitchen, there are places in maybe giving birth. Some men, they still feel I shouldn't have a wife that's working. I should be the one doing the job. Then she should give birth to children for me. So even when the woman has her own aspiration to be maybe something in the workplace, she can't, go ahead to express that because she's supposed to be giving birth to her children.
Okay. Okay. Laura, it doesn't sound so unfamiliar, does it?
No, I think we have the same kind of thing like in the UK. I mean, I think I personally have been quite lucky in companies I've worked for where there have been a lot of strong female leaders, people in a position of power. And I've worked for, companies or startups even, where the culture I think is changing more towards equality and trying to make sure that, that somebody's in a position of power because they're good at their job, not because of their gender. But there are like a lot of old school companies out there, and I think corporations, and it tends to be more those big companies where you still see the men in power. And especially as a woman, if you do want to have a family and you want to take maternity leave or something, you end up getting penalized. And then you can't sort of kickstart your career again because you've taken time out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is a problem, isn't it? Because obviously you're particularly if you have more than one child, that can be several years at a mid-career point, which is, I guess that's the point that where you're almost done all your kind of junior kind of getting into a role and getting started, and then suddenly, just as the next stage is kicking on, that could be where that piece comes in. What do you think companies could do better to support that transition back into the workplace, and that, to kind of get back to that accelerate action, like to make sure that when they come back in, we can accelerate career paths or accelerate them back into the career paths? What support do you reckon could be given?
I personally just think having a career path in general, not a lot of companies do that. It's something I've only come across quite recently in my career, people having career paths. And I think if you have one, I don't think taking a career gap for, having a child should impact, that path that you've got set in place. I think the issue comes when companies don't have a career plan set out for their employees, and they just overlook somebody because they've taken a gap, or, somebody might think, oh, I'm going to get this role. And then they go on maternity leave, they come back and someone else has taken it because they were raising a child.
That's really important. Actually, when it comes to small businesses, career path could be very interesting, or something that'd be important to do. Do you recognize that as well, Flora, in terms of thinking about career? Is career thought about in the same way, do you think, in Nigeria, or is there other kind of influences involved?
Well, it's the same process here in Nigeria. So we have, the career path in most organizations, not all. Some of them, they feel this is the role you're assigned, so, and that's it. When you're tired or you feel like you've been doing the same thing all the time, if you want to leave, you can leave. But some organizations, they're like a path, that when you are here, you can move to this stage and thereabout here.
Okay, fascinating. Okay, so further thoughts then, guys, around this topic today?
I think it's really important, if you're a woman in business, to be able to speak up. Like if you see something that's not right, if you think something's not right, to be able to go to the senior leadership team or to the CEO or the founder or whatever and speak to them. And I think you'll get a good gauge from having that conversation if things are going to change. And if, you know, it looks like you're working for a company that does not want to accelerate action, they don't want to close that gender gap, then maybe that's not the company for you as a woman. But also, if you're a man and you see that happening in the company, you've got a mother, you might have a sister, you might have a daughter, it could be them that happens to in the workplace. So I think just speak up if you think things like that happening in a company, regardless of whether you're a woman or a man.
I like it. And Flora, your thoughts?
I agree with Laura, and I want to especially say that I feel our men should also do more, because if we are in a safe space where we have, the men speaking up for us, telling us that, oh girl, don't worry, you can do this, we'll be bold enough to come out from our shell. We're just thinking, okay, we'll be bashed by our fellow gender and also the male, and most of us are just shy. We don't want to bring out ourselves, what we can do. We can actually do more. So yeah.
I like it. And there's a video we want to play our viewers at the end of this discussion. What is this video?
But yeah, so this is a video that was actually done to celebrate International Women's Day, and it is just all about that gender gap, the inequality, and it's done using children, and it just shows how children really don't see that difference. And you take children, they have no idea of this thing that we deal with as adults. They're just like, well, this isn't fair. We've done the same job. And I think it's really important because it highlights, nobody starts young with these, preconceived ideas of gender equality. It's something that is taught as we're growing up. And if we can teach people to have equality from a very young age, then maybe we can get that 132 years down a little bit smaller.
Fantastic, great stuff. Well, look forward to sharing with everybody now. Thank you both, Flora and Laura, and I hope this has sparked some interest in people's thoughts and inspired some action. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Jeg heter Selma. Og jeg heter Martin.
Jeg heter Ask. Jeg heter Victoria.
Jeg heter Lars.
Og jeg heter Felicia.
Nå har jeg en liten jobb til dere. Jeg tenkte at dere skulle putte de blå ballene i den ene vasen og de rosa i den andre.
Okay. Skal vi ta rosa i den og blå i den da?
Nei.
Omvendt.
Blå i denne.
Men nå skal dere få belønningen deres.
Oi.
Hva er dette for noe? Hva er dette for noe?
Ok, og nå kan dere åpne øynene.
Oi.
Hva? Jeg fikk litt mer.
Molly, grunnen til at du har fått mindre enn Thomas, det er faktisk fordi du er jente.
Det er kjemperart.
Det er ikke bra.
Det er skikkelig urettferdig.
Hva tenker du, Felicia?
Jeg jobbet helt likt, og så får vi ikke det samme. Vi var like flinke, og vi burde få like mye.
Hvorfor det?
Fordi ellers så blir det urettferdig. Det er liksom ikke forskjell på jente og gutt, da. Jeg tenker at det er feil.
Hvorfor er det feil?
Jenter er ikke mindre verdt enn gutter.
Det har ikke noe å si hvis man er gutt eller jente.
Sånn, jeg tror det er like mye nå. Nei.
Nå har vi like mye. Nå har vi like mye.